Most people are excited about Christmas and Christmas gifts and Thanksgiving and all the holidays, but what I get excited about every year is the opportunity to take the time to reinvent myself. I just finished up all of my work for the year and I've taken vacation all the way through to January. And now I have the freedom and the mental space to really focus on who I want to continue becoming next year. So I've been on this journey of reinventing myself for probably about the past decade. And it's been exciting to be able to look back that far and think about who I used to be and look at who I am and where I am now and the power that's in being intentional about who you're becoming. So I'm excited to make this video today because the tools that I'm giving you are proven for me. They've worked to help me change both mentally and physically and also spiritually and emotionally. They've transformed my friendships. They've transformed my romantic relationships, my relationships with my children, my career. Everything about me has changed, and everything that I'm experiencing now in my life is a result of intentional steps towards creating that reality for myself. And so each year I do it a little differently. Initially, I was making big, drastic emotional changes. So there was a lot of inner work and shadow work, which was triggered by a dark night of the soul. And so I was just kind of drowning myself in content from creators who were presenting ideas to me that I had never explored and really just opening up my mind to new possibilities. And so I just kind of immersed myself in that content to the point where it became automatic for me to think certain types of thoughts. So that was like maybe the first 3 to 4 years of my journey. So then for the next few years, I took those new thoughts, those new ways of thinking, and I started to apply them. I started to test them out. I started to be bold about doing things differently and seeing what kind of results I got. Some of these new views that I had were extreme. And so I was able to find out what worked for me and what didn't work for me and come up with my own new philosophy for life. And part of that philosophy is continuously improving. Maybe for the past 3 to 4 years, I've seen a lot of these results come to pass, and now it's just a matter of refining things. Now I'm completely confident in my ability to reinvent myself on a consistent basis. And I use this time of year to plan out how I'm going to do that for the upcoming year. So if you go to my website, coachingconsciouscreators.com, you can find a download there that has the Wheel of Life. So if you've never heard of the Wheel of Life, it has all the different areas of life, like your health, your spirituality, your career, your finances, your relationships, your recreation, like anything you can think of. You rate yourself in each of the areas, and then what you do next is figure out where you'd like to be over the next however long of a period of time you choose. So I will typically do like a 5-year, a 3-year, and a 1-year breakdown of where I want to be. And then I choose actual activities that I physically put into my calendar. In the past, it's been a physical calendar, the Law of Attraction Planner. Going forward, it's going to be an online calendar. But I put activities in the calendar to do throughout the year so that it's on autopilot, basically. I don't have to think about my goals all the time. I can just look at my calendar and see what I've set out for myself to do and just do it. So an example of that is if I'm trying to build deeper friendships, then I may put something on my calendar once a month to attend a meetup activity. So meetup is an online community where you can find people with similar interests like hiking or, spirituality or, fitness, whatever. And you do an activity to meet people. If I'm looking to broaden my career opportunities, I may set out to get a certification. And so I may put a date on the calendar by which I want to get the certification and then back that up with study time. So I realistically know how much I'm going to actually study, and I'll put that on my calendar throughout the year. And then I just generally have to make the commitment to myself to follow through on those things. This year, I'm taking a different initial approach. So I am still I've already filled out my Wheel of Life, and I have it on my TikTok if you're interested, Lifelong Learner. I'm going to also check in with myself. Because for the past 10 years, I've generally been after the same things. So I've been after more joy. I've been after deeper connections. I've been after a healthier lifestyle. And I've had a certain approach to that and a certain way of thinking about that. This year, I'm going to check in with myself and I'm going to see if I need to adjust my dreams, if anything has changed as far as what it is that I truly desire. And I'm actually going to look at who I've become. I've created this version of myself. And I have people I know that say they've even seen physical changes in my appearance. And that's something that I manifested. So now I'm a believer. So now it's fun. It's like, okay, I took the clay and I molded myself into this. What do I want to become next and why? Why do I want to become that? So I think these past 10 years have been a journey of me proving to myself that I can recreate myself, that I can become the person I want to become, that I can experience true joy and an authentic feeling of being satisfied with my life. Now I think I want to expand that and think about the impact that I want to make on the world. And part of that, and I've said this before, and it's hard to say again, but I really truly am in 2024 going to make a commitment to being more consistent with this YouTube channel, because the support that I've gotten has been so authentic. People have come to me talking about the ways in which they've been impacted by the content I produce. And like I mentioned, when I started my journey, I relied so heavily on content creators that helped me not feel alone. They helped open up my mind. They helped pull me towards my own dreams. And so that's something that I want to do for the people that engage with my YouTube channel. So one of the ways that I want to change myself and expand myself is to be someone who's committed to service, who's committed to connecting with people who have a hard time finding people to connect with, because that was once me. So today I am going to share some not so original content, but I think it will be impactful around questions to ask yourself when you're looking to invent yourself. So I would call this like the pre-work for planning out all of the actions to take towards becoming whoever it is you want to become in 2024. So I'm going to present you with 9 questions to ask yourself. So get a pen and paper and prepare to write these down. And maybe you use one as a journal prompt each day, or you sit down for an hour-long session and you go through all 9 of them. But I got these from a creator named Ed Mylett. So he has one of the top personal development podcasts on the air right now. And he presented these 9 questions, and I didn't see him with any notes. I feel like these came straight from his soul, but they really impacted me. So I'm going to share them with you, and hopefully they'll help you as you finish out 2023 and think about how you want to be and who you want to be in 2024. If you see me looking down, it's because I took notes. I'm going to elaborate on how each of these questions has impacted me, because I'm currently working through them myself. The first question: is my old dream still my dream? So when I started my transformation journey 10 years ago, I definitely had a dream, but it just wasn't mine. So part of my journey was letting go of that old dream. So the old dream was basically to do everything my parents told me was the best thing to do. Get good grades, go to college, meet your husband in college, get married, start having kids, have your career, pay off your student loans, work until you retire, and make sure you do it all right so you have enough money to survive. I got to a certain point. I got married. It was not the experience I was hoping for. I was a mom. I became a single mom. I was in a career that absolutely bored me to death. So back then it was really easy to answer that question for myself. I really didn't even have to ask the question. I knew that my dream needed to change, and I needed to figure out who I really was and who I wanted to become and come up with a new dream. So it was automatic then. But now I am generally happy and satisfied. And so asking this question required a little more reflection. Is my dream still the same? I think my dream was just to know myself, just to really know myself and get to the bottom of my desires and become the best version of myself. I think I've accomplished that. So now I almost need a new dream just because I've actually been successful at the last dream. So I think I mentioned my new dream is to have impact, to serve. And I think I got there because I no longer have that drive to just consume content all the time. I'll get on TikTok, I'll get on YouTube looking for something to just do what it used to do, soothe my mind, boost my mood, and I'm just bored. And I said, maybe that's because it's my turn. It's my turn to really get serious about paying it forward. So that's one of my new dreams that I have. And then, of course, I ask myself things about, where I want my career to go, how I want, my money to look, my finances to look, what type of lifestyle do I really want? Do I want to be a multimillionaire, or do I want something different? I don't know. Those are all questions I'm asking myself. The second question is, how do I want to feel when I get up in the morning? So this is a good one. I've had this goal for a long time. I'm not always successful, but I've always wanted to just wake up excited to start my day. Right now, I'm kind of neutral when I wake up in the morning, even though, this life that I've created is working well for me. I want to get up with like this urgency, an urgency to do whatever it is that I know that I'm meant to do for that day. How I achieve that is going to take some meditation and some deep introspection. But it's a wonderful question to ask yourself. How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? If you are currently stressed, if you are currently having to drag yourself out of bed, what do you want that to look like next year? And what do you need to do to shift that? The third question is, what do I want to see that I have not seen? At first, I thought it was talking about like parts of the world, like physically see. But there's another question that addresses the physical. This one is more, what do you want to experience that you haven't experienced? What do you want to be part of your reality that has never been part of your reality? And I think for me, it would have to be focused on the area of relationships. I kind of serve as a place of stability for people. And so I provide a lot of support. I am the stable force. I have learned over the years to manage my own emotions, to validate myself, and just to be this pillar. There are very few people that see my mood shift. There are a few, but very few. So in most of my friendships, I'm the person everyone calls for sound advice. I'm the person everyone calls when they want someone to be steady and consistent. What I want to experience is getting that in more of my relationships. The next question is, who are the people that I want to be surrounded by? So it's a good segue. Who do I want to connect with? I really want to connect with people who are just as out of the box as I am when it comes to manifestation. Right now, I'm also the person everyone comes to when they're trying to create something new, when they're trying to manifest. I'm known as the person like in my family and then in part of my friend group that can successfully create things. And so people come to me whenever they want to make a big change. I want to be around people who are like that, who are the type of people where everything they touch turns to gold, where they speak things into existence. I want to be able to witness that up close and personal, and not just in the creators that I follow on YouTube. Number 5, where do I want to go that I haven't gone? And this one's easy because I've been a lot of places. And so the list is getting short of places that I haven't been. And so, of course, there's places on the map that I can easily point out that I'd want to visit. Question number 6 is, what do I want my body to look like? For the past, I'd say 2.5 years, I've been very consistent in the gym. And I've found my groove and my rhythm, and I found what I like and what worked for me, what gets me up and going to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. I feel strong. I feel healthy. And actually, when I'm at the gym, that's when I feel the best during my day. So I'm almost addicted. It's my therapy. But as a result of me getting stronger, watching my body change and seeing how all the exercises I'm doing are changing my body, there are still things that I now see that I want to be different. So I am tweaking my diet, which is something I've been doing for the past 2.5 years anyway, and exploring changes that I can make to get even closer to the body that I want. I also join lots of fitness groups on Facebook. mainly with people who are my age or older, so that I could be inspired that, when I get to 50, 55, 60, I can still look amazing. And that kind of keeps me going. So I do know what I want my body to look like, and I'm actively taking steps to get there. Number 7, what do I want my energy levels to be? This one is probably going to be the most challenging for me. This is where I'm going to need the biggest paradigm shift, because I've been a mother, mainly a single mother, for the past 16 years. My oldest is 16 and I have one that's going to be 8. And especially the 8-year-old is still very demanding. So I've never ever been able to gain complete control of my time. And it's been extremely difficult with all of my ambitions, with trying to create content, with excelling in my career, with building all these nurturing friendships that I've acquired over the years. It's been a challenge to manage energy levels. Number 8, what do I want to be good at? I think this one is going to be easier for me because I was able to work with a coach, one-on-one, a professional coach. And so I've actually got a pretty good library of notes, things that I've already discussed with a coach that I want to be good at for next year. But if you are exploring what you want to be good at, maybe it'll be easy to identify, or maybe you want to reach out to friends, family, people you're close to, and let them help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, people that you trust. Number 9 is, how do I want to feel about myself? One of the hardest things for me to do in the past 10 years, and I really think it's been the entire goal, is to fall in love with myself, really fall in love with myself. So I think a lot of times when we think about falling in love with ourselves, we think about becoming perfect so that it's easy to fall in love with ourselves. But the trick is to fall in love with our flaws, to fall in love with our shadows, to fall in love with our imperfections, and embrace those and honor those, even if you're changing them in the process of changing them. In order for me to really get good at feeling this way about myself, I had to think about the way that I love the people around me, the way that I love my children, the way that I love my partner. They are not perfect. As a matter of fact, the Virgo moon in me makes me pretty critical of them. But the love that I have for them is unconditional. It shows up as action. That's a big one too. And so when I was looking at how I wanted to feel about myself and how I wanted to fall in love with myself, I knew that that had to translate to action. For example, with my children, I love them so much, and my desire is for them to be at their optimum health. Although they want donuts and candy every day, I know that long term that's not good for them. So if I were to just let them have whatever they want and indulge, it would make them unhealthy. And I know that. And so I make different choices for them, and I just try to make those choices as enjoyable as they can be. And so I took the same approach with myself and my health. If I want to have longevity, and if I want to have the energy to show up for my new wonderful friends and my new wonderful partner and my children and my coworkers at my job, I've got to love on myself in that way too. I've got to give myself the nutrition I need to push forward. I've got to create an environment that soothes my mind. And so when I really fell in love with myself, flaws and all, I was able to take action. I was able to remember on a regular basis that I matter. How I feel in every moment matters just as much as everyone else matters. Just a quick recap on those 9 questions to ask. Number 1, is my old dream still my dream? What is my new dream? Number 2, how do I want to feel when I wake up in the morning? Number 3, what do I want to see that I haven't seen? Number 4, who are the people I want to be surrounded by? Who do I want to connect with? Number 5, where do I want to go that I haven't gone? Number 6, what do I want my body to look like? Number 7, what do I want my energy levels to be? Number 8, what do I want to be good at? And number 9, how do I want to feel about myself? What I would do, if you're not ready to download the purpose planning template and go through all that work, I would just journal on these questions until you get to a place where you truly feel satisfaction when you think about your answer to each of these 9 questions. Write it down And just read it as often as you think about it, preferably at least once a day. And watch how your reticular activating system draws you towards opportunities to experience the things that you've written about. It can be just that simple. If you take that hour or two before the end of the year, and then you set the intention that at the start of the year, when things start to pick up again, that you'll just read that and allow yourself to feel the satisfaction that comes with it, you'd be surprised at how your choices start to change and how your experience starts to change.